guys, what's up? Today we're doing a little bit of fishing out here. Nothing big. The wind's kind of blowing. Looks like out of the east, and it's kind of pinning me in a lot of areas, a lot of bays. Not out on the lake where I wanted to be today, but it brings up a good topic what I wanted to go over with you guys. I wanted to talk about my favorite bait that I throw this time of year. My number one bait this time of year, because I love fishing the spawn. I mean, you can catch, I tell everybody all the time, I mean, that is the time when you can catch some of the fish and the biggest fish that you'll ever catch throughout the year. With that being said, my number one bait that I throw is basically the senko. I use the Strike King shimmy sticks, watermelon flake in my up here in the north, and I absolutely love it. I usually spray it down with some gulp. You can use whatever spray attractant you want to use, but that's what I use. Put a little spray on there and throw it out there and let the water and let the current do the work for you. I mean, it's very, all you gotta do is just drop it right in that area of their bedding area, anywhere is in that vicinity of their area, and they'll strike it. They don't want it there, they'll kick it out of there, you know. So basically what I usually use is anywhere from a 2-aught to a 4-aught hook. I'm not going to go over any kind of knots that you use, because I mean, let's face it, everybody has their own knot, everybody has their own tie, and I'm not here to judge anybody on that. So, and I don't want to be judged on my knot. So basically tie it any way you want. I don't usually use braid on this. I usually use fluorocarbon or mono, whichever one you feel comfortable with. And basically what I do is you find the smooth part of the senko, and I usually hook up wacky style, so I'm just going to put it right through the center of that, and then it's just going to sit just like that. A lot of guys use the bands. You can put a band around it, so then basically what you do is you will, instead of going through the center there, you will hook the band, and then it'll sit through, so it'll be on top, kind of like this. A lot of guys find better hookups and setting the hook better that way, and plus they say that the worm lasts longer. Me personally, I don't like using them. Just nothing against them. I just feel comfortable more hooking right straight through the hook. And honestly, with these Strike Kings, I've found that this is the best one, the best bait that I've bought and used that lasts the longest. I can get a lot of hookups, catch a lot of fish on these just by hooking it right straight through. Something about the texture, I think that I get better reaction to the fish. I get better strikes. There's just something about that lure, the way I use it, the way I present it. I get the most hookups, and I absolutely love it. So, and that brings me to the next subject, is what rod I use. I usually use the number one rod I usually use is a 7-foot medium to heavy action bait caster. A lot of guys give me a hard time because I use the bait caster, but I'm not using it where I'm casting into tight spots, or skipping docks, or like in these really tight areas where you got to kind of skip them in there. That's where I usually use a spinning rod. But if I'm casting out here, like in these open areas up against the banks, tossing up against the docks, not going underneath the docks, or on top of the rock piles, or if I see a stump or a log, if I want to toss in by the log and all that, and it's an open cast, I usually go with the bait caster. One of the main reasons why I use the bait caster is that I feel like I get more action with the bait. Like, I can present the bait a little bit more easy with the bait caster, because when I'm holding the rod underneath the reel, so I'm bringing it back and forth with my wrist. So as I'm setting the hook, as the hook's sitting down there with the senko on there, I'm just kind of, I feel like I get more, and I'm more in control of that bait by using the bait caster with my hand placement the way it is. So with the spinning rod, your hand's on top, so you're kind of working it this way. I feel, my personal belief is that I don't get the control and the finesse that I can work the bait with this kind of style over the handle hold, just because, you know, in these open areas I want to have as much to work the bait. Where I'm skipping the docks or into a tight area, usually that bait's only sitting there maybe 1 or 2 pops with your hand and then you're out. Working these open areas, you can work it more in farther in, so you can retrieve it a little bit farther, because you could be a stump in here that you don't see. As you're bringing it across, you come across that stump, then you can work it. But when you're working the docks and all that, I usually use a spinning rod. Or 2, I love the way I can set up on a fish. I feel like I got more of a backbone and I can put more into it. So like when you're fishing, like an example, when you're flipping into the weed beds and doing flipping, when you set up on there, you're setting, you know, you're putting your body into the pole with your hand underneath. So it's kind of the same way when I'm flipping with, or throwing a senko out in the open area. When that fish strikes it, I feel like I have way more control to set up on the fish and put everything I got into it with a strong backbone. So those are the 2 reasons why I love to throw the bait caster with the senko. So that's my number 1 go-to lure, and those are my 2 setups. I always have 2 of them on the deck. So as you're going along, as you can see, you know, you got an open bank through here, and then you have a dock, and then you go down through and you got another dock. So you can work your open areas, and when you get to your dock, you can work your dock with your spinning rods. So with that being said, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to set up on some of these fish. I'm going to show you how I set up on them, how I use my bait, and give you a little example of what kind of rewards you can get. So stay tuned here and we'll get started.